alumni of 2014 batch, he actually needs no introduction to our senior students as such. This introduction is very much required for the junior semester. He played a very important role in NASA Student Union as sports coordinator during 2016-17, and is a very approachable person to his classmates, seniors, and his juniors as well. Very obedient, very helpful, down to earth to all the students and teachers whenever we needed him for any sort of work or activity in the department. So currently he is working as a successful practicing architect who's freelancing with projects like residential, commercial, and interiors. Simultaneously, he is planning for his master's admission also. So for this topic, actually, why we have approached him is his thesis is one of the best research based thesis in out of his batch. So we thank you, Syed, for accepting our invitation to share your experiences and design process during your thesis. And we also wanted to know after your thesis how this project been your USP for your future opportunities. Over to you, Syed.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am, for the introduction. Really means a lot. And firstly, I thank the college, the Anand Sagar College, and the director Ramesh sir and all the faculty to selecting me to talk about thesis in alumni connection web series, and I really love talking about my thesis because I had worked for it, and this is something in my 5 years which I really put in a lot of effort and worked on it. Although the thesis which you work on your during your college is like after 2 years, if you look back to it, you still feel you could have done it better. So I think that is a design process which all of us feel like even the first year, second year, third year, when we look back to our previous work, we always feel we could have done better. I think that's something in architecture itself. It's always a change, and we always love changing our design and making it better. So I thank all of you guys to give the opportunity for me to talk. And hi everyone, hi all the students. I feel very old because 2 years since we graduated, and I see all of you guys in your first year, second year, third year. So let's begin with the presentation and how to go about thesis basically. So so for I basically want everyone to listen carefully because this is something which will help you to go about it. Even your first year, second year, third year, you'll always have this in back of your mind. So you can always start your thesis research or thesis topic from your first, second year based on what interest you find in. And for the people who are in their thesis, it's high time to pull up your socks and start working. And thesis is something which will stay with you forever. It's like your 10th and 12th marks. Like no matter how old you are or how wherever you go, they still ask you how much you got in 12th and how much you got in your 10th. So thesis is something like that for your bachelor's degree. So yeah, so I'll be sharing my screen, and we shall go about the presentation. So I have divided the presentation into three halves. So first I'm going to explain what thesis is to me. I mean what thesis is as a whole, and then I'm going to relate everything to how I approached it. So you should be having a different perspective on it. So I'm just giving you an example of how I approached it. I'm not saying it's the right way, but it worked out for me. So everybody can have their own possible way of approaching to a thesis, and everybody is different in architecture. There's no set guidelines of how to go about it, how what ideologies you should have towards it. But yeah, it all depends on how your character, how you work on it, and what type of person you are. So all that is so basically I hope this presentation will be helpful for all the years, not only the people who are into the thesis. And so first part I'll be telling about that. Second part I'll be explaining my thesis project. So I have accumulated my thesis project and made it into 2 3 slides. So I'll be explaining that so that whatever I have explained, you can actually see a picture of it, of how I accumulated all of it together. And third part will be question answers, where you can ask whatever questions you have, and and I'll try my best to answer it. And also there are all the faculties here, so if I am unable to answer, they'll always pitch in and help me out in this. So yeah, so I'll be sharing my screen now. Yeah, so you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah, we can see the presentation is not yet.
Yeah, I haven't opened it
I
yet,
will
man.
switch the tab. Yeah.
Yeah, can you see the presentation now?
Yes, yes. We can. You can start.
Okay. So yeah, what is thesis about? So thesis is your final year project in which you accumulate all that you've learned in your 4 years of study. So thesis basically showcasing your work. It's about, it also represent who you are. Like at the end of the day, when you finish your degree, they're not gonna judge you by how you look or what you are outside, but they're gonna see your thesis and judge you. Okay, so it talks a lot about your character, it talks a lot about what is your design ideology, how you approach design. So that is thesis. And it has like thesis can be, you can really get attached to thesis on how much effort you put into it. So thesis is it's a semester long project, but it starts way before that semester. So you guys have pre thesis and all that. So you, and like for first year, second years and all, you can start thinking about your thesis right from right this moment. Like you can start thinking what is your interest, where what can you do a topic on, which topic can you pick, and also basically it's an accumulative of all this work. You can't just like one day when thesis starts, pre-thesis starts, you can't just sit and you're like, okay, I'm going to do thesis now and this is going to be my topic. So basically you need to have a lot of research behind, like why are you doing this, why have you picked this site, or why have you taken this topic. And when you do something with passion and involvement and something which you're interested, you obviously end up acing it. So thesis is something very close to my heart, because yeah, because it I did a lot of research and I had beautiful tutors who made me fall in love with architecture. So it started, the process was something like everybody has their different process. So for me it just started, okay, selecting 3 4 topics and then finalizing one. But once I started interacting with the teachers and telling them my topic, it became more close to me, it became more personal, and it was more of my personal satisfaction rather than end viva and giving marks and all. Uh, so my suggestion is, do thesis as your passion, do it as something which you want to do for your personal satisfaction, for building your own portfolio and building your own self, rather than just seeing it as a subject and you just need to complete it over a span of 4 months and then getting grades for it. Okay. And so basic thesis is like building your dream project. So something which can be hypothetical, which you can't build it outside. Like outside you can't just go as a fourth year student and build a random museum or something. So some dream project which you always have and which is close to your heart from starting, like okay, once I graduate I want to do this, you can pick that as your thesis. And even though if it's not built later on, you still have build your dream project in your mind and even in your semester. And later on, like that is future, like if you actually want to build it, you can approach the government and all that. So this is what thesis is. I would also like to know what is thesis to you guys, but like since we're having this interaction first time, I don't think anybody will open up and talk about this. So we'll keep that in the end stage, and let's have an interactive session so that we can know what it is by sharing each other's knowledge. So since I have also been in college and have been in a position where you have been, it'll be easy to relate, and we will have some ups and downs, and we can share our sorrows or happiness, and figure out what it is together. We are all into this together. Yeah, so next slide. This is about thesis. So thesis, you need to consider all the factors together when you're putting in your thesis design. So like I told you, it's accumulative of all the subjects which you have studied till now. I've mentioned few subjects here. I've mentioned few subjects here which can be included. More or less, you have to include all of them in it. That's when finally they judge you based on what all you have studied and what all you have tried accumulating. So we have all the faculties who teach you in different subjects. So few teachers teach you building services, they some teach you building construction, some teach you architecture design. Then do not neglect all the theory part, which is theory of architecture, history of architecture, because that will help you influence your design. So always, why we emphasis on theory of architecture and history of architecture is because those are buildings and concepts which are built way like 100 years or more than that before us. So we have a lot of gaining from that. We can take a lot of inspiration, we can relate it to the design. And so different subjects play a different role in it. So like say structures also, we need to have a basic idea of what structure we need to give. Is it a grid column structure, or load bearing? So all these subjects you need to know little, not little, you need to know quite, you need to have a knowledge about that to actually put it in thesis not just one selecting site design concept and then you present it. So it's about detail as well. You need to know how you're placing your interior layout, where you're placing your bed and your structure design, and what are the aesthetics of your design, how did you develop to the concept. And then services are very important. Like say if you go for hospitals or hotel designs and all, they give more emphasis on services because that is one of the major part in the hospital, because function is very important and service are very important. And then comes landscape and aesthetics, all that. So basically, I hope you're getting the picture. It's not just one subject, it's accumulative of all the subjects together, and you need to put it as a one project. So yeah, so what is thesis about? Like let's keep theory aside. Let's keep all the theory part aside, and let's just go think of some mental health. Let's just think of how it creates an impact in ourselves. So it has to come from it. Idea pops up. So it's not something which one day suddenly you sit down and okay, today I'm going to think about thesis. Let me sit down for some 10-15 minutes and like think about the one idea of my thesis. No, it's about, it's a process. So you need to like read few books or some articles which excited you. So basically my thesis was a slum redevelopment, and I always loved housing. So I read a lot of things about I this competition, slum redevelopment competition held by Hutco. So I read books about that. So when you are interested in a specific topic, it's always good to read more about it so that you know what data has been accumulated before it, so that you can develop it later on. And idea pops up, and then a lot of brainstorming. You need to talk to a lot of people. Like our faculties are always available whenever you have time, or even after college. All of them, I remember talking to teachers like in the night time, which I'm not encouraging, because yeah, they also have to balance work and life. But yeah, so I'm telling you, they were available like all the time. So that's how important for them it is. Teaching is for them, and student to get a good result and getting a good topic, it's very important to them as well. Like how much ever you're doing from your side, it's always teachers always want the student to do well, and they want to guide a student, because they are setting a foundation stone for us to evolve in our future. So this is something which I will be forever grateful of all the faculties who have helped me. So you need to talk a lot about your projects, and talk it amongst your group or your architecture friends. Even talk to your parents and talk to your engineering friends or other friends, because when you talk to someone outside your field, they give a lot of inputs, because they'll be layman to the field, like they won't have knowledge about the field. So when you talk about this complicated word, and they'll have like, okay, why are you telling all this, we don't know all this. So once you try explaining it to them, you get more ideas. You're like, okay, so this I can do it in this way or this way. Because what what misconception we have is our architects only will be coming to like review our work. So but we need to convey this to in a community level. We need everyone to know about what we're doing. And that's how we build our architecture community. We can talk to everyone, know what we're doing. And this is one of the major reasons why our architecture or architect field is separated, secluded from the other departments. We don't gel along. So that's some barrier which we need to work on and break. That's a long run. So I'm little getting away from the topic. But yeah, we need to have a vision, a vision of what is our end goal. What are we gonna achieve from doing the thesis project? Is it gonna be implemented, or how is it gonna benefit the community which we are living in, and all that. And you need to take a lot of inspiration, like always have inspiration, always have some architects, read about them, and always idolize few architects which you are really inspired of. Okay, like housing, like say housing or landscaping, or some architects which you or either you see the person and you idolize him because of the person and the work he's done, or you fall in love with a specific building which they have done, and then you start reading about them and understanding their ideology, their philosophy, why did they do all this behind it. So always find inspiration of who you want to, you always want to look up to someone, like okay, this person has done such a good work. Inspired by him. I'm impressed. I want to do something. I want to achieve a state, like I want to be in that level. Always think of growing. Okay. And then motivation, I know during thesis it's very hard to be motivated, but I can tell you something. Once you are passionate about your work and your project, if your topic is very interesting and you want to do something for the community, or you want to do something for a specific whatever your topic is, so automatically motivation keeps building on. And coming talking to the faculty and visiting faculty in college is very important, because they always keep pushing you, they always keep you on your toes, and they always keep pushing you to go to the next level. So motivation, I feel you need to like talk to people, discuss about your design, and always never miss a seminar or a design jury. Even though if you have very less work, if you need to come and attend, because you never know from where you get inspired from, which spark that is, which will inspire you and make you change your ideas on architecture, or that spark can come anytime. So motivation is very important, and keep coming to all the reviews, juries, and you can learn. And it's always again when you attend a lecture or when you attend a design jury. Imagine you're not coming to design jury, and that day design juries are usually 3-4 hours long. So imagine how much you're missing out on that day, which can add it to your end product. So imagine you come to that day and you sit there for 3 days, although your jury review will be for some 10-15 minutes, but before 10-15 minutes, the 3 hours which you sit in the studio and think about, okay, how can I develop my project, how can I not get screwed from the faculty, okay, how can I make it more advanced, or how can I develop it, is this good enough, is this what I deserve. So when you keep developing it, that 3 hours are very vital, so much progress, so much productivity will happen, rather than just skipping and not attending the jury. So I this is a personal opinion, I mean personal suggestion: always attend juries, no matter who your juror is. Just attend it, because it's gonna help you it's gonna help you bit by bit, and it's gonna help you a lot. And then innovation, like always think of what you want to do different. Okay. And we are living in 21st century, and there's a lot of innovation going around, but always think what you can do different. Have that spark in yourself, that okay, how can I do something different? Okay, this project so many people have done, but why how is my project different? What am I doing different to stand out from the public? So always aim to be that 1% which is standing out from the rest. So always you need to have that desire to stand out and do something different from uh, from your design or whatever. Like always try to be different is what my suggestion. Then imagination. And once you get involved in thesis, I don't know if you guys had it, but like first year, second year, you're just getting into architecture, but fourth years or alumni who have already graduated, once you start getting passionate about your project and you start going in depth, you start getting dreams about it. So I don't know if others have got it, but I certainly have got. So when you start thinking about a project and when you're doing a project, you basically have a walkthrough in your dream when you're going into your project, and what all is there, what all can be worked on. So this, it's actually very exciting, no? Once you get up, you can actually think, okay, this is the project. That shows how involved you are in the project. So never stop your imagination. Always think of what you can do next. And then knowledge comes from, knowledge is everywhere, and it's not only degree. After that also you need to keep learning. It's a learning process. So knowledge you need to accumulate, you need to read a lot of books, and if you're not a reader, start inculcating the habit of reading, or see some TEDx talks about architecture, anything about the topic which about architecture field which relates and which you are passionate or interested about. Keep doing research about that, and also it's gonna benefit you. After, you won't know the advantages of it right away, because you think, okay, but the time which you are investing, it will pay off initially. So whatever hard work you do, it'll surely you'll get what you deserve. Yeah, so this is a rough brainstorming about what thesis is and all that. So I'll give you a breakdown of how to go about thesis, and what are the steps and processes of how to, and what all we need to think about. So this is, I've just categorized. I'm sure all the thesis batches will already have a rough picture stuck on their wall of what all to do, what all to study, and I'm sure even the tutors, faculties would have given you the process, what are the list of drawings. But this is something which I'll just brush you through. I know you'll be knowing all this, but it'll be very helpful for the junior batches. And also, if I could add on few things and which you have missed out, that will be a gain for you guys. So yeah, first is topic, which you guys select in your pre-thesis. So pre-thesis, you will have a pre-thesis is very important. Pre-thesis, it almost for me carries 35% weightage for the entire thesis, because that is when you start thinking about your topic, you finalize your site, and you think, how is my topic, like, is it something of my interest? Based on that, you select topics, and topics also can be vast topics, like you can do an issue based, or you can do something for the community, you can do something for aesthetics, or you can do something out of the world. So it's all based on your personal interest. And then always, so naming a topic is something which catches the jurors attention, or it will help you in future as well. Like when you have a project named after something, say rather than doing a museum or a school, you can name that school or name the museum, so it will be very personal, so you can give it a name, and concept can derive from that name as well. So naming topic, then interest, then solving. So when you select a topic, so there's this always one question which the faculties ask you, or you more than faculties, I feel you should ask yourself, like, you are gonna be architects, and what are you gonna solve in this in the topic which you have selected, which is gonna benefit architecturally. Because if it's gonna benefit in other way, then anybody from other field, engineering or arts, could do the topic. But how are you solving the project, how are you solving the topic or the problem architecturally? So that is one question throughout your thesis, even till the last last stage before your design finalizes. You need to keep thinking, how am I solving this project, or how is this thesis going to benefit architecturally? Okay, so that is one question which you need to talk about, which you need to constantly be asking yourself. How are you going to benefit, how are you going to solve this architecture? Because at the end of the day, we are going to graduate as architects. So how are we going to create change in the world? By doing something architecturally from our field, which can again divide into other fields as well. And so one thing which I would really tell you guys, the thesis batch, is you have this national conference which is coming up soon. So that thing is very important, because you have to present you have to present you have to present your work, you have to present your topic, and what is your concept, your brief. Excuse me. So your brief, you have to explain your brief, and why you selected the topic. These are the problems, I'm going to solve these problems. So that topic is very important, and I had a conversation with the faculties, and they told me the conference is coming up soon, and it's compulsory for everyone to talk. So I would encourage all of you to prepare really well for this, because this is a base again. So once you talk about the topic, and you idealize your topic, and then you finalize topic, and then you tell all your interest, and why you chose the topic, what are you solving, all that, it's gonna benefit you in the next stage. So basically it's like one tick mark done, you select your topic, everything, and then you can go ahead to the next stage. So this will also boost your ability to talk during your design reviews in the future, and also your final viva, because stage fright a lot of people had, even I remember, like during my third year I stood for elections for president or VP, and I couldn't talk. I had a list prepared, but in front of the whole batch I just got stuck and I stopped. So yeah, so it helps, it's a developing process. You can't like start now and you can say I can talk to everyone. Okay, it's a process. So once you start there, you can start working on your skills. Okay, I didn't convey my design properly, although I had a good design, so I need to work on my communication skills. So basically every stage analyze yourself and make a list. Okay, this I need to improve. So the process is simple. Even in your real life, how are you better the next day, what have you accomplished today, and how can you be better the next day. So it's a step by step process, you can take it day by day. So next, coming to the site analysis, like site is very important. All the topics are very important, you need to give equal importance to it. You can't just finalize topic and like, oh, I have the best topic in my batch, I'm gonna relax and chill now, and later on I'll do some design and I'll get it over. The juror will fall for my topic and I'll top the class. No, everything you have to give equal importance, to have a end product which is really good. So then after selecting topic, you have to select site. And I know during this tough times you are having this video call and all, but site analysis is really important. When you go to the site, you actually feel the site, I I actually mean feel the site means when you go, you get the feel of the site. You know what is the urban fabric of the site, where all the buildings are. So site analysis is very important, because you need to go there and visualize how your buildings, like you'll already be running on your design process in your mind. So you need to know the context, understand the site, understand the access, and then survey the site. Like survey, depending on your project, say so here is where you use your urban design semester, where you understand the context and understand the accessibility, what is the user group of the site, and how are the people around, for whom are you designing. So when you go to the site, there's a lot of things which you need to analyze and make note of, which will help you inculcate in your design. So site is very important, because whatever you design is going to be based on the context. So that's why your project is going to be different from the rest of the project. So if you have a specific site, you can relate it to the context, and you can talk for the site. Yeah. So that is going to affect, that's how it will make a difference to your site. Otherwise you're doing a random project which you can place anywhere. Okay. But yeah, it depends on your topic as well. So then coming to the studies. So studies, like I told, knowledge, you need to have a lot of case studies, so I'm sure, like whatever topics you have selected, there'll be a lot of people who have already done it, like hypothetically, or in real as well. So you need to understand all the case studies and know why they have. Nowadays everything is, you can find a lot of data online as well. So what you can do is research, make a make analysis of, okay, this person has done so and so, and I'm gonna take inspiration from this topic. I like how he designed the cluster, I like how he did this. So case studies, literature study actually help you take inspiration and know what people have already done, and then after that you have to kick in and see what you can do different. Yeah. And then reading articles, and always you need to be updated about your topic. Say for in my case, I did slum redevelopment, so I had books about HUDCO projects all over India, like shortlisted HUDCO projects. So I got inspired by that, and articles of instead of slum redevelopment, initially there was, people in slum, they shifted slum to other place and they constructed there and gave homes. But recent survey, what it showed is people have given those sites for rent and they have come back to the slum. The only reason why they stayed in the slum in that locality is because of the context. It was easily accessible to their daily needs, their work, their occupation. So which is why they located themselves there. No point in relocating the whole slum and telling them to stay there. Obviously they would give that to rent and come stay here. That's when government came up with this process called slum redevelopment, where they redevelop the existing slum. So this is something which you have to keep updating yourself with the latest news and understanding why did they do this. Yeah. And then concept development. So we're gonna concept development is important because uh, so when you're going for a review, so they don't give emphasis. They do give emphasis on your end product, but a lot of emphasis is given on how you derive to the end product. Yeah, that is more important. So understanding after site and all, understanding and how you develop. Like initially it can be a box, but that the concept keeps developing with your inputs, with the faculty tutors inputs, and then all that, and then you accumulate to the end product. So end product and final product, when you keep it together, you yourself will feel so satisfied and good that okay, I've come from this to this. Okay. And imagine if you are satisfied, imagine you presenting the work to the juror and showing from where you've come to where and all the design process. So that is, it plays a vital role in they judge you on how you think, how you've developed your design. So that is very important. And always make sketches, hand sketches, or hand sketches of your concept, and don't ever trash those sheets. Keep them, save those sheets, because in the end when you're presenting, if you could show the sketches or your sheets which you have developed, it will play a big role in your final review. So keep sketching and never erase a line. Don't ever use an eraser. Always keep sketching, and it's okay if you overlap lines or something, but never use eraser. Let it just float. Okay. And then design evolves. Like I said, never miss a review or never miss a design class. It keeps developing. You'll never go back home with the same design unless you don't show it to the tutor. Yeah. You'll always go on with an extra, with a progress. So that is, look at the small side of it. You've always progressed from the previous day. Yeah. And concept, you start zoning, and all these basics. I don't think I need to tell you guys. You'll already be telling, knowing, and teachers will be giving a lot of emphasis on this. Zoning, accessibility, all that. Yeah. Now let's talk about design. After your conceptual design, you actually so concept design is something which you develop on your own. After that you come to design, and design is where all the subjects which you have studied before plays a role here. So when you're designing a building, so when you come into designing part, you do the planning part, and you discuss with the tutor. But what material to use, how to place services, and how to zone different places, master planning, all that, it will come from your previous studies. Like okay, services, I have to place all the sanitary units here, I have to place OHT here, open theater I have to place here. Then all that will come from your previous studies. Landscaping I have to do like that. So concept is you evolve on your own, and then design, initial planning, master planning, you'll do it on yourself. But after that you, all your previous subjects kick in, and you analyze. So you can go to a different teacher as well. Like say some teacher teaches you landscape or building construction, you can go to them and like, ma'am, this is my design, what all services I have to do, and you can take personal inputs from them. And basically thesis is not only taught by one or two visiting faculties and your tutor. It's basically the entire department who is behind you, and who can help you with the thesis. Yeah. So after design, let's go to details. So details is very important. All of them are important, but like if you see previously who have presented thesis, the very less importance is given on details. Whereas if you're going for your masters, or you're presenting a portfolio to your workplace, or in the final jury review, they'll see all your concept. Okay, very good, but where are the details? Where are the construction details? How have you estimated the cost? What materials have you used? So we also need to give importance on the details. So we'll just do 1 is to 100 scale master planning, and then small small, like 1 is to 100, 1 is to 200, and then we just draw plans and we leave it. But where are the construction details, where are the emphasis on door window schedule, what are you putting, what material are you using, how are you cutting down the cost, all that is also very important. Yeah, then we talk about dissertation. So this is something which is very important, and I realized lately, because I personally didn't give so much importance on it, because I spent a lot on my other aspects of thesis. So dissertation is very important. It is basically a research paper which you have to do, and you have to give a lot of importance, because not everybody is going to come see your sheets. Okay, this is something which you print and you keep it in library and you have it for yourself. It's there with the department forever. So whatever project you do, it will be accumulated. You have to write a research paper. Why there is a specific procedure for writing a dissertation. We need to give importance for this. So this later stages, I'll be telling you. I'll show you the timeline of which work, when do we do which part of the uh, design, and what task do we do when. Okay, so dissertation is very important, because we need to give a lot of importance on reading and writing and the research which you have done. So you have to accumulate all the design. Like in dissertation, you basically write from where you have taken inspiration, and what is your thesis project, what have you done, what is your concept. Basically all of it you'll write. And dissertation, trust me, it's very important, because at the end of the day your sheets won't last forever. You will have these books which are kept in library. If someone refers your book, you can't just have normal, okay, some copy paste from everywhere and just paste it. Dissertation has to be something of your own, and even if you are taking references of certain lines, you have to specify from where you have taken those reference, and you have to mention. Okay, then model. So first, initially during your pre-thesis and selecting topic itself, once your site is finalized, you make a site model of the existing site, and then you make models of model has to be simultaneously. Even for design concept, it's not only sketching. You can make a 3D models and develop your design concept. In that way, it will help you analyze your buildings in a three-dimensional way. And then site model, and then concept models, like I told you, and then details also. Like when you come down to your final thesis project, this is the site plan, and then final master plan with what you have implemented, what your design is about. And also have concepts, like I develop my concept from this model to this model, like how you're going to show your sketches, like this was initial box and this is what I've derived. And then also details, like show some very small details which in some 1:1 scale, like very small, so that the juror will be impressed more. More than pleasing the juror, you will be self-satisfied, because you have learned about that specific details, which will be benefiting you in your internship. Okay, internship is a different ball game. Internship is, so in our college study, we do projects hypothetically, we learn all this. But when you come to internship, it's more of practical life. We specify more on, because it's real life, real money. Clients pay us for their needs. So you can't miss any client meetings like how you do in your classes. You can't do all that. So it's very professional. You need to do everything on point, because they're paying you. Yeah. And then conclusion, I think you will derive initially when you select a topic, because that's when okay, this is my topic, and this is what I am going to conclude. This is what I am going to This is my end goal. So this is the problem and this is my solution. So conclusion, it's always important to show conclusion in the end of your sheets, because that's when the juror will understand, and even you as a person will know, okay, this was the problem, have I solved the problem, have I helped the community, or have I solved the problem architecturally. This is the conclusion. So yeah, conclusion also is very important. And then the D-Day, the Viva Day, where you have the everything presented, a lot of sheets, a lot of models, everything. It is a day of self satisfaction. I feel more before the Viva itself, you should be satisfied with the amount of hard work you've put in and the amount of work you have done. Okay, so it's more of a personal satisfaction day, and it's more of you judge yourself based on yourself. Okay, this is how I started my thesis, and okay, I feel I have done a good amount of work. Okay, because keep this in mind, when the juror comes he has to see 30 people, and you won't have, you need to make your sheet so good that you know it's self explanatory. And and whatever happens in the viva is secondary. You don't have to, like, whatever happens in the viva is mostly not going to do justice to your design, because justice to you, the hard work you put in. But you know, if your sheets are self explanatory and all that, because imagine 6 months of hard work and telling that in just 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes. Yeah. So at the end of the day you should be satisfied with whatever work you have done. Viva should be like secondary. Like whatever happens in Viva is not gonna judge the hard work which I put in for the 6 months. Yeah, and trust me, if you have put in so much hard work, you always get what you deserve. Yeah, you will get it. You will get what you have deserved for the hard work you have put in. So next we're gonna talk about what topic is important, like how entire thesis as a whole is gonna carry weightage. Okay, so you know, this is the rough percentage which I have given according to me, but like, as you can see, everything is given almost equal importance, because you can't just have a good design or good topic or good site model or a good dissertation and then get away with thesis. Okay, it's an accumulative process, so you need to give equal importance to everything. Yeah, you can't just finish your topic and design and then wait for your, like, presentation also is important, right? You can't just, whatever design hard work you put in, if the presentation or the communication is not good, you won't, the it won't do justice to your hard work, right? It won't do justice to how much effort you put in. So you know, communication, presentation, and all the details, model, everything is really important to, you know, get the end product. And trust me, when you have done enough work, you will be very satisfied with yourself, and that pleasure will last forever. Yeah. So this is about time management. You know, how do we segregate, or how do we categorize which all work we need to do? So as you can see, I've divided into 5 parts, and I've given, as you can, the massing is also based on the amount of hard work and time you have to put in. Okay, so pre-thesis you're gonna have one full semester for it, where you need to pull up your socks and start, say, okay, this thesis semester started now itself. So you need to finalize your topic, you need to understand your brief, and you know, cite everything. So pre-thesis is very important. So keep in mind, during your pre-thesis itself, you need to, like, you will be having your other subjects, but 30% or 40% of back of the mind you need to keep working for your thesis semester. You need to finalize all these things before in hand. And then holidays. So when you get this 2 months of semester holidays, in that process itself you're going to finish half of your work. Yeah. So I remember during my thesis, first day of our final semester, thesis semester, we had all our models ready, site analysis, everything done. So you know, we were ahead of time. So this holidays, it's not for chilling. Like, I know you can chill, it's your time, but give equal importance to your thesis as well, and you know, the understanding of. So basically, if you're thinking, like, if you're really interested with your thesis topic, which you have to be, you need to accumulate in yourself that you are interested. You need to force yourself through it. Like, if your topic, you're not liking the topic, do more research and start falling in love with your topic. Okay. And in holidays you have to do all your case study, literature study, visit sites, make a model, read books, survey, everything. Like survey, if you have to do analysis, you have these 2 months to do all this work. And then right from the day one, when you come for your thesis semester, you start with the design process. You know, you have all the data in hand. You're starting with your design concept. So when a tutor, faculty, or visiting faculty is sitting with you, they'll have a background of your project. They'll understand case study, everything, and then they can directly help you with your concept, master planning, and all that. So you know, design process shouldn't last more than 2 months. You don't hold the design process till your review. You need to finish it at least 2 months before, like, the design process, and you know, understanding, finalizing master plan, all. Then the next month you need to work on details. The models will happen simultaneously, but when you are making dissertation and details, you need to focus on this. So master planning and planning will take 2 months. After that, 1 month you have to dedicate for your dissertation, and also your model, detail model, and all the details, like I specified how important details are. Give importance to that in that 1 month. And then finally last month will, like, give a good amount of time for your presentation, and for your final touch up, final CAD drawings, little Photoshop work where fine tune and you make the drawings more aesthetically appealing. So that final 1 month is very important, because all the hard work you have done from 3-4 months, if that final 1 month doesn't convey your design to the juror, all the 6 months work is going to go in vain. So that is why I'm specifying on that last 1 month for presentation, wherein you have to you have to put all this hard work which you have done and present it, wherein if even if you are not there to present it, the juror should understand what your project is about, how you develop the design. So it should be self explanatory. Yeah, it should be self explanatory. And one thing I am going to tell you before starting the presentation, like, first you'll have your rough presentation done. So once you're done with your project and explaining, make first show the presentation to your parents. Yeah, show the presentation to your parents, and then explain the entire design. So then you'll understand how how self explanatory your design is. Because if you're explaining it to an architect or your friend, they already know what your project is, already know where all you've visited and everything. So when you show it to your parents, they will see from a different perspective. Yeah. And when you explain all the sheets proper, you see how much you have to explain them to make them understand the design. Then you analyze yourself. Then you understand, okay, my design is not that self explanatory. I need to develop more on my design. My picture, my concepts. Like, I'm talking about only presentation. All this hard work you've done, presentation, if the presentation doesn't convey and do justice to your hard work, then it doesn't make sense in the end. Yeah. So my getaway was, I used to explain my design to my parents, because they are not in the field of architecture. So once I explain them, they'll ask me all silly doubts, saying, what is this, why is this like that. So that's when I can develop my design and make it more explanatory. So same thing happens when you come to your internship or your real life, where you make drawings, working drawings, which go to the site. Yeah, when the drawings go to the site, a layman is going to read it. Okay, Maestri is going to read it, a carpenter is going to read it. So you don't expect him to understand your design and understand where to cut. So basically you mark every detail. So when you mark that detail, when a layman can read the drawings, it's easy for him to construct on site. Or else every site visit you have to go and explain what is what. So this presentation is going to help you in your internship and in your professional life, where you explain, where it is self explanatory. Yeah, some things, like some new design concept which you have developed and nobody has developed till now, that requires personal explanation. But some things which is general, like wall thickness, and this is a courtyard or whatever, that has to be self explanatory. Yeah. Now, yeah, this is about thesis. Like, I hope you got a rough idea of what thesis is. And I hope I spoke a lot. I don't know, like, because we couldn't interact, it is not a physical interaction session, and all of you guys are new. Interaction didn't happen, it was just one way process, and I am hoping you guys understood whatever I explained. So later on, after this, I'm going to explain my thesis project. I'll just keep it very short, because I feel this only has gone a little long, but I hope it was helpful. Like, whatever I could uh, try explaining from myself, I have vomited everything in front of you guys, so that you can understand everything possible. Yeah. So this is my final thesis sheets. So this is not my final thesis sheet. My thesis sheets were a lot of sheets which I accumulated. This is my thesis which I put in my portfolio, so that you can't put all your sheets in your portfolio. Yeah. So you need to explain few sheets and explain only gist of your thesis project. So I'm just showing you a glimpse of what thesis I did. So my site was in Hosur, and it was a slum redevelopment. So I spent almost the entire summer holidays, that is my semester gap, in going to the slums, surveying the slums, understanding the family structure, their occupation, and why have they settled here, and all the reasons behind it. A lot of survey in my process. I did a lot of research and survey because that's what helped me derive my master plan and come to my end product. So and then I understood what the what the problem of the slum was. So basically the slum was of 23 acres, and it had only four public toilets which were closed after 5 o'clock. So that was one concerning factor which I had to address as my design. Like I told you in conclusion, or how am I going to solve this architecturally? So lack of toilets. So I had to provide toilets. Then lack of proper sanitation, lack of open space. Slums are very congested and standard of living is very low. And in my personal opinion, I feel every person deserves a basic standard of living. It's the basic right, okay? Not just because we are all blessed and we have good housing, we have good ancestors, and somebody has worked hard, yeah, and we are just sitting here and enjoying the benefits of it, yeah. So but slum, they also work, they work a lot, they work on daily wages, what is it, but why do they not have a better standard living? Why is the government not providing them with better housing? Yeah, that was my concern which kept kicking in, like why do why are they living in a different condition and we are living in a different condition, although all of us are humans. Yeah, that's what made me address all these issues. So that's why I chose a slum redevelopment. Also, I was passionate about building houses, and I was passionate about house and doing something to the community. Yeah, so for me end goal was I had to do something to the community with my profession, and the selected topic is from my hometown itself, so that's why it was very closely related to me. Yeah, this topic is about this is my master plan which I derived in the end, how it turned out to be. I created a community center near the water body, if you could see here. Okay, one sec. Yeah, I created a water body here, which there was an existing water body. I created a community center which could break the barriers of the economic groups, the slum people, and the other legal settlements. So I wanted them to interact and have a gathering together and break the barrier. Yeah, and by doing all the survey, I had a lot of design concept which derived from the survey itself, like how many people are living and what is their occupation. Based on that, I derived my master plan. And then this is my yeah, this is my design concept development sheet, where I had a concept of hierarchy of courtyards, which I wanted open spaces. So I had three different courtyards which interlinked each other, and then axis master planning, road access was based on the survey done. And then right side this diagram, if you could see, this is based on a concept where a suspense created. When you enter, you see a courtyard, and then you see a small opening, and then that leads to another courtyard, and that leads to another courtyard. So development, hierarchy of courtyards, and a sense of suspense in the person. It's always it's always it's always good to have a suspense in your master plan, and the things which you build. So this is, I'm just giving you a gist of my thesis. I'm not going in depth. And then these are my different unit typologies which I developed based on the analysis which I did. And I had my conclusion as well, like creating more space for a person per area. Then if you could see, I've made an existing and proposed tabular column wherein households per density per person area was 346, and I reduced the density to 290. I reduced the density to 290. So this is the conclusion which will always benefit you. And then this is the final renders of my thesis project, which which I it's always good to show, visualize your tutor or your person who you're presenting it to in a 3D way. It helps them analyze your design in a better perspective. And then yeah, that's about the presentation. And here's my mail ID. If you if you have any queries, or if you have anything regarding your thesis or your architecture itself, you could always drop me a mail, and I would love to help you with it. Anything, like you have problems with selecting site, or you're confused or something, just drop me a mail, and I will get back to you, because because this is something like I have a little knowledge about and I would love to share it with you guys. So yeah, this was about my presentation, and now I think I'll stop sharing my screen, and I would encourage you guys to ask questions about, like, if you have any regarding the presentation, I would love to answer them.
It was a really good presentation, Syed. All these days we have been explaining to students
Yeah.
the same points in a real depth and crisp way. Listening from our alumni students is really great. Okay, thank you so much for that. And guys, please, if you have any questions, kindly unmute yourself and ask. And if it is not possible, kindly mention it in the chat box. We would read out to you.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful presentation, Sayed.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
very much
Yeah.
for that. And then you made our work light so that regarding I could just get from your end that working drawing is so important, and then how the layman can be understood whatever the working drawing we issued from our office. So because we are telling every time that okay, what is the need, and then the importance of the working drawing, the details about that. But students always feel that okay, something
Yeah, they
teacher
neglect it.
says,
Yeah.
yeah, we will see that. Let us see how it's happen, how it's going to happen in future. Anyway, we are going to rule.
Yes.
So that is not, and because as you rightly said, otherwise you have to stand there.
Correct.
So outside all the time.
And you won't have
So
one
that,
project at a time, so you'll have
yeah,
simultaneous projects running.
yeah, that was a very insightful. And then I think our students now, because they are seeing you as their inspiration, and then I think they might follow this diligently. That's what I hope. So very nice. And then we wish all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good presentation, Sayed. Really wonderful information what you had given it to the students, and definitely even for the junior batch students also, how they will think about the design to take forward into the thesis topic is very much essential.
Yes.
Because right from the first year itself, what are the elements and the principle, what they are going to use it, how they are going to adapt it into the final thesis is also very much important. Really, you made the students to be focused on why the design should be holding a lot of credentials and all along with other subjects.
Correct.
Really, it was a very good presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good. Students, anyone would you like to ask any questions?
Yeah, it could be any random question, not only regarding thesis.
Yeah, not only
It
related
could,
to the
yeah.
architecture. Any damn questions you ask, no problem, guys.
Yeah.
Whatever the problems you are facing in the college, whatever you would like to learn from him, he is of your friend only, no problem.
Even I've graduated 2 years back, so it's very fresh. So
Yeah,
whatever, I can totally
yes.
relate to your problems and your concerns. So anything, and you can just ask questions.
Yes.
It's really helpful when someone is coming back and then telling us that, or addressing our students that okay, these are the realities, and also whatever the way of this one understanding, and then the perception and the perspective of architectural field, and then how the world is going on, and then how the reality or real the projects are being, and if they are going to listen through you, so or through whoever passed on, and then come back to us and then share their views and experiences, and that's going to watch, and then the guarantee the our student that okay, yes, whatever our teachers were telling and also our seniors are telling is right, and then I think we have to rethink and then move on and start researching from that day.
Correct.
So I think that's going to be a very good this one. I think all our students are going to take your footstep and also rethink, and that means let them introspect and go about. As you rightly said, okay, everybody is unique, and then nobody can follow anybody's ideology.
Correct.
But it also important that okay, they have to develop their own instinct
Correct.
to do something in this field.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sir. Yeah.
Good, good. Gatam, sir? Ramesh, sir?
Yeah, hi, Syed.
Hi, sir.
Looking very smart. Okay, yeah. We feel very proud, whenever students will come back and talk about the institution and talk about their experiences. That gives us a lot of kind of energy as well.
Yes, sir.
And particularly during this pandemic, no, we are all teachers are sitting in their rooms and we have not seen a single student almost for 1 year.
Yes, sir.
So that's very nice. And coming to your presentation, you have taken a lot of efforts of putting them together. And I mean, the thought process is really good. And I think after you have done your thesis, you have realized and the kind of
Presentation.
the interest that you have to show and the passion you have to develop right from the first year. See,
Yes, sir.
you have to inculcate in yourself what is that direction which I have to take.
Correct, sir.
Once you have taken up architecture, the next step is like, what is that I'm going to do, learning architecture and, start slowly developing a passion towards a particular, in a direction you want. Like you have chosen something you have to do for the community and
Yes, sir.
you started working on it, you read books on various books, but related to your particular kind of interest.
Yes.
That is what you have consolidated, and finally you have come up with a very wonderful thesis at the end. Even the jurors were appreciating your work.
Thank you.
And the kind of you need to get the knowledge also behind it. The backup for your work is your knowledge.
Correct, sir.
You have to speak out, not only the plans, but the kind of depth and the kind of involvement one has to do is very important. And that has been very nicely put up by you, and that's what that was very interesting. That the student right from first semester they have to think about like what they are going to do in the architecture, what is their kind of interest that they have to develop.
Yes, sir.
Like when I was studying in third semester or fourth semester, actually first and second semester I have not shown any interest, because that is I am talking about 83, 84. So 78, 83 I did my BR.
Yes.
So 78 nobody knows about architecture. They were thinking it is horticulture.
Yes.
So not much of tools or whatever for we only banked on our own hand sketches, then reading a lot. You mentioned reading has to be done. One has to read books. Otherwise you can't gain knowledge. Whether it is important for that particular time or not, you keep reading, but that will definitely pay you at the end, whenever
Yes,
you face some issues. And even when you actually face some clients, this knowledge will definitely will support you, because that is where the strength lies in a person. Then afterwards, when I went to IIT library is huge. I was when I entered, I don't know which book to refer, because there are so many books written by so many authors and all. But definitely, I chose those subjects which actually of my interest. Particularly, I am very much interested in, like you said, like housing is the main thing which out of the three what you call important things for a human being, like
Roti, kapda,
food,
makan,
clothing,
yeah.
food, clothing, and shelter.
Yes, sir.
I found that shelter is a basic need for every person, and every person deserves a right to have a shelter.
Yes, sir.
So that is where I started looking at. I read books that there is one magazine called Acoustics that only deals with housing across the world.
Yes, sir.
So you get articles written by so many people, very good people, and we had a nice, wonderful professor teaching planning. I still adore him. He is in my heart always,
Yes.
because that is how he used to teach us. Very simple person. He is, Dr. B.C. Chattopadhyay,
Okay.
and everyone in the architecture field they know. And his thesis is the shortest PhD thesis
Okay.
he has done, and that's how he is. He's so great, and we are proud that we are his students, because that's how he taught us. And when you actually do this planning, you go out of a fixed boundary. Like as long as you're an architect, you are looking into a small boundary, like 30 by 40 plot or maybe a 1 acre plot. But when you do planning, your perspective becomes even more wider. You look for people, the masses.
Correct.
That is how we are taught actually. Like that's where I took the thesis topic in my post graduation as rationalizing residential densities.
Correct.
So in that field, I've gone through books, and I've gone through books which are actually out of print, which we could get in National Library, Kolkata. So I went to National Library, Kolkata, and I got that book. They were not sharing any print of it, but somehow they gave me some Xerox copies. So I gone through it. That was one book written by regarding the morphology of. I did for Hyderabad, so I didn't get any books on that. So he's a bird watcher actually.
Okay.
So that book was written by him. It is not by architect. So there he mentioned how the city has grown from times, the Nawab regime and all. So one has to actually, as you said, you have to accumulate knowledge and go in the direction where your interest lies. You don't deviate. First semester you think of something, and second semester you think of something. So you end up nowhere. But if you consolidate, that will definitely pay you, and it will actually, in some way or the other, it will that flavor comes in your design projects also continuously, because that is there in your mind. It starts mimicking, and whenever you are doing projects, and as you said, you have to create some interest or kind of attachment to some kind of a style or some architect's works or something. Read about him properly. There are great architects, like we have Frank Lloyd Wright, Lee Corbusier, then we have Doxiadis and Charles Correa. We have many others, and many other new architects, they has produced, but unfortunately they are not being, we are not doing any kind of what you call talking about ourselves is not there much, but in other countries they do actually project themselves and come out very nicely. That is what I understand. So this particular thing definitely will kind of trigger some kind of an inspiration among our students, particularly those students who are doing thesis and those students who are doing architectural design from the first semester. So you have to go together, and you have to develop a passion towards some style. My fan is Louis Kahn. So I read kind of whenever I get a chance to read his kind of presentations or his works, I will love to read it, and then so it automatically comes in your projects. Whatever project you do, you have some kind of a tinge or a kind of a theme developed out of his. So his quotes are really good, and some of his quotes are really good. But definitely, as you said, every student is different from the other, and no architect actually kind of likes the works of the other architect. So definitely, when you go to business, you look at a business angle. So definitely, work done by one architect can never satisfy the kind of likes of other architect. That is always there, but we are not looking at that. We are looking at masses. How we can get into the shoes of those people and try to understand their kind of necessities, their kind of day-to-day kind of cycle. What if you understand, then you will definitely come out with quantum results which will work. So that is what it is. And yeah, even if you discuss, as you said, you have to present it to your parents. You present your work to your to the people, not to architects, to people who don't know about anything. And if they can understand what you have done, that means you have done a lot for your work, because that's how you are looking at. But there's a saying that a knowledgeable person is someone who can actually communicate to the most illiterate person. So if you are able to communicate yourself to the most illiterate person, there you are more knowledge. It's not that you learn something and everything what you talk it goes above the head of people. It doesn't work. It should be useful. It should flow to the poorest of the poor and the most literate also. That's how you have to build up your yourself, your character building. Architecture is actually your character building. The subjects what you learn, sociology, you learn about landscaping, you learn about biomimicry and all. What is that you give back to nature? All that, all those subjects are much more related, which actually builds your character. No other engineering or professional course will give that direction. So this is what it is, which is actually very nicely put up by you in a very crisp manner all through.
Thank you.
I actually appreciate your line of thinking. That is very good. We don't differ. I don't know whether any faculty will differ with your kind of
No, sir, definitely not.
line of
Definitely
thinking.
not, sir.
It is really, really good. And I hope we should do this kind of presentations, how to go about theses to our students right in the beginning. That helps the students also. So good, Syed. Like, we'll try to catch up with you, even more number of times. Maybe we can also learn about your projects also. If you are keen on presenting, so that our students get benefited.
Sure.
And whenever you find now that lockdown is little open, you can drop in.
Sure, sir.
You have come many times. You have also come as as an academic to review the academic works. That is great, which helped us actually. Keep coming so that we'll also feel we are at home and we are a family.
Sure, sir.
That's what it is. Very good.
Thank you.
Good, sir. I have no questions to you. I have
Yeah.
more understanding.
Actually, we have
I
a
think-
question, sir, by
Tanushree.
Banushree Syed. This is a really good question, and thank you for posting this, Banushree. Most of the people think that model and renders play an important role for thesis. Then after conceptual design and program development, they directly jump into the software to design, which compress ideas. So can you tell how softwares are used and when to be used?
So yeah, it's a very tricky question, and this also depends on people who are well off with softwares and people who prefer sketching more than software. So I'll give you two scenarios. So one is people who prefer sketching and then developing their design. So I'll put myself in that category because for me design flows with a paper and pencil. So that's when you develop sheets and for me more than the end product, the design process. Not only me, even though when you're applying for universities or when you're presenting your work outside or when you're going for work, they always want to see what your design process is. They don't want to know the end product. End product can be anything, because when they hire you, end product they will have an end product, but they want you as an asset to think through the design. and want them to help them in how to go about design. What are your thoughts which will influence their design? So the concept, and developing the concept is going to help you. And like you said, most people after conceptual design, the program development, then directly jump into software with compresses idea. Yeah, correct. But in the other way, like I told you, other person who is well off with design, for him or her, the process is more of software. So I'm not saying you can't develop software through, you can't develop concept through software, but initial thing starts with a paper and pen. You start sketching and then you put them in software. You can do concept design through a software as well, and even through model as well. So and then they jump into software, is what you're saying. So when they use software, you can use software in a step by step way as well. Like, you develop concept, and you need to show the process of your development through software as well. You can't just show, okay, this is my concept, now I'm going to put in software and show you the end product. No, you have to show the design development in the software as well. Like, say you have block models, and then because of site context your model is changing, and you have a cut here because of wind direction and sun path and all. Show that in your concept in software as well, because the process is very important rather than the end product. So people who are jumping into software, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's a good thing, but don't neglect the process. After your conceptual design, the development also you show it on your software, and then show your end product. Like, right from your, you show your concept and then you show end product, it doesn't make sense. You have to show how your concept developed to the end product. Yeah. And like, personally, after coming, after, like, graduating and coming to the on field experience, clients prefer software and clients prefer visuals, because nobody's, earlier days how it was, okay, you're an architect, I'll pay you so much money, you're gonna build a house no matter what. Like, I don't care, like, these are my functions, I want a house based on that. But now, since the market is vast and we have a lot of options, clients come to you and they want to visualize how their building is. That's when they give you the project. So basically 50% work goes off from our hand without even knowing that we secure the project. Yeah. So softer skills is very important, and to visualize and help the client analyze what the building is going to be is very beneficial. So that will help you secure the project. So developing softer skills. And also, it's a very good question, because you start with your concept with paper and pen and then end up with software. So you just need to inculcate the process in your software as well. Yeah, that's when you can reach the end goal. Yeah, I hope I've
Yes,
answered.
Sayed, good afternoon. Would like to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Can you tell me which are the important softwares which architect can use today?
Today, yeah, so there are a lot of softwares now. See, CAD and SketchUp and Lumion is something basic which we use, but but it's better to know Revit, start Revit in college itself, because the industry is changing. We're slowly shifting from CAD to Revit. Yeah, so it's always very helpful to start from Revit. And 3D softwares, there are immense softwares in the market. So it's based on your personal choice, like which one you feel is good. Yeah, SketchUp for modeling, but if you want to go advanced, there's Rhino, there's Grasshopper, there's Maya. So there are a lot of softwares. It again depends on your interest, like which software do you want to learn and which will benefit you. So CAD, basically CAD you need for working drawing. CAD and Revit is like basic for wherever you're going to work. But 3D, it depends on your personal interest, which 3D softwares you want to ace in, and which one you want to learn.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions, students? Okay, I guess your explanation is quite self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Syed. Ma'am,
Nisri will be there. Nisri?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am. It's absolutely my pleasure to extend a sincere gratitude to all the participants, speakers, and organizers of today's talk. Sayyed Sobandao, your presentation was in-depth and inspiring to enkindle the flame of thesis project in every student's mind present today. Your approach was really simple, easy to relate, and adopt. I hope students will develop on these lines and bring more laurels to the institute. I would also like to thank our principal, Dr. B.R. Lakshmikanta, our vice principal, Dr. Nandini Madam, and Dean Academics, Dr. Sumitra Devi Madam. They are the pillars of encouragement and guidance. Our director, Professor Gaddam Ramesh sir, had always believed in learning through interaction and always promoted and provide opportunities to alumni and students to come on common platforms for learning and sharing knowledge. Thank you, sir, for your continuous support. My students and my colleagues, thank you all for always being present whenever called upon. We all together hope to move towards better learning process. To all alumni, thank you for your love and support to the Institute. We hope to make this bond more stronger. And students, keep your interest going and let us know what more you would like to hear through these webinars. Thank you, Mamta ma'am, Likita ma'am, and Anuradha ma'am to make an active alumni coordinator team of SOA, ready with new events always. Thank you everyone for joining us this morning for this beautiful interactive session on thesis. Thank you.
Once again, thank you, sir. Syed.
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Syed, once again.
You're welcome,
Keep
sir.
in touch.
Yes,
We'll definitely involve you in more of our events.
sure, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And
Welcome.
thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, students.
Yeah, thank you, Syed. Very valuable for your juniors. Indeed.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome,
Thank you, Syed. It was very good presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Syed. It was really a very good presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Very happy to see you, Sayed. I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
like a,
I think it was
refreshing and all those old days, and like, yeah, and it's really good. Everybody has said that. I mean, you being on the other side and then speaking about all your experiences and all, it's really good to see.
Thank you.
Happy to see.
Okay, good. Good luck, Sayed.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a pleasure, ma'am. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay then. See you soon.
Bye.
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 Over.